They say that it's best to let go of the past because what's done is done. And it's that simple. Unfortunately, in grammar, the past is a bit more complex, which is why today we discuss the differences between the commonly confused tenses, the past perfect and the past simple. Let's begin. Alright, so we begin with the first basis of distinction, which is the form. Starting with the past perfect over here. So in case of the past perfect, you're going to have the auxiliary verb had followed by the past participle, which is to say the verb in its third form. And that's going to give rise to sentences such as she had eaten in the positive, she hadn't eaten in the negative, and had she eaten in the interrogative. As opposed to this, we come to the past simple, wherein in case of the positive sentence, you're going to have the structure as the subject followed by the verb in its past or second form. You have that sentence as she ate. However, when we arrive at the negative and the interrogative sentences, the same verb is going to retreat to its first form. Let's observe over here. So you have the structure for the negative as subject followed by didn't followed by V1 or the verb in its first form, and you have the sentence as she didn't eat, not ate but eat. Similarly, when we arrive at the interrogative, you have that sentence structure changed to did followed by the subject followed by the verb once again in its first form, and you have your sentence as did she eat. That's all about the forms. Now let's proceed to inquire into the meanings of these two tenses. Let's go. Alright, so we come to the meaning starting with the past perfect. Now, if the past perfect is to be understood in any other words, then its meaning would come out as the earlier past or past of the past. Now, what do I mean by that? Say, if I mention a past event in a sentence, and in the same sentence, I also make a reference to an event which had taken place even before that past event, that point in time is going to serve as the earlier past or the past perfect. Confused? Nothing to worry. We have a diagram over here that's going to make things really simple. So let's assume you are over here at point C on the timeline, which is now or the present moment. You're speaking a sentence at the present moment, and let's say the present moment is Friday at 2 p.m. So you speak a sentence on Friday at 2 p.m. In your sentence, you make reference to the previous day or yesterday, which brings you to point B, let's say Thursday, 6:30 p.m. Now, this is going to act as your simple past. But if within the same sentence you also make reference to an event which had taken place even before point B, that's even before Thursday 6:30 p.m., say let's say 1 hour prior to that, which brings us to Thursday 5:30 p.m. Now this point A on the timeline is going to serve as the earlier past or the past perfect. Let's understand that further by fitting this entire situation into a sentence. So once again, you are at point C, you are speaking a sentence at the present moment, Friday 2 p.m. Your sentence reads, when I got home yesterday evening. So right now you are making a reference to yesterday, which brings you once again to point B, simple past, on Thursday at 6:30 p.m. Which is why you see the treatment of the verb as the simple past. You have get in its second form, that's got over here, and you have that sentence clause as when I got home yesterday evening. Continuing from there, the sentence goes, John had already left for the airport. Now you are making reference to an event which had taken place even before point B, which brings us to point A, Thursday 5:30 p.m., which is the time when John left for the airport, and hence this will be treated as the earlier past or the past perfect. And you see the same grammatical treatment in the sentence as well. You have John had already left for the airport. You have had as the auxiliary verb followed by left, which is the past participle or the third form of the verb leave. So that's about past perfect. As opposed to this, we come to simple past. I'm sure it's already clear over here. In case of the simple past, you make a reference to only one past event within the sentence. Let's have a look here. So once again, you are speaking at the present moment, point C on the timeline. You make reference to an event which had taken place yesterday. That brings you to the simple past, point B, that's Thursday, 6:30 p.m. We do not have any past perfect over here. Hence, your sentence reads, I got home yesterday evening at 6:30. You have the same treatment. Get turns into its second form, the simple past, that's got, and giving you the sentence as I got home yesterday evening at 6:30. And that's about the meanings for the past perfect and the past simple. Now let's reinforce these concepts by moving on to the usage of the two tenses. Let's go. Alright, so we arrive at the usage. Now, in non-native English, there's ideally a tendency to use the past perfect wherein actually the past simple should be used. The usage rule goes very simply as that you're going to use the past perfect only in cases of the earlier past, whereas you will utilize the past simple for single specific past mentioned in the sentence. Let's have a look at an example over here. So you have a sentence over here which reads, I had left some photos to be developed. Are they ready yet? Now, in this sentence, you have the mention of a single specific past, which was the moment when the photos were left. And hence, you do not have the past perfect as the best usage here. Hence, I had left some photos to be developed is not the best usage. As opposed to this, you have the simple past which reads, I left some photos to be developed. Now, this is the way to go because the moment of dropping the photos is just one singular particular moment in the past, and hence you have the usage of the past simple instead of the past perfect. Similarly, coming over here, now what is the difference between the statements yes, I had told her versus yes, I told her? Now, yes, I had told her would be the more appropriate response when the query goes something like, yesterday before the meeting, was Susan aware of the situation? Now, in this sentence, you are mentioning two pasts. The earlier, the simple past rather, is the meeting itself, and the earlier past is the time before the meeting. Now, when did Susan come to know of the situation? In this case, Susan came to know of the situation even before the meeting, and hence you have the response as, yes, I had told her. As opposed to this, you have, yes, I told her. Let's read the question, the query to this answer, which is, yesterday during the meeting, did Susan come to know of the situation? Now, during is the key word over here because the past time mentioned in the sentence is one singular moment, which is the meeting itself. There is no before the meeting over here. When did Susan come to know of the matter? She came to know of the matter during the meeting itself. And hence you have that answer as, yes, I told her. So that's all about the usage. Now finally, let's go to the final section wherein we discuss some miscellaneous uses of the past perfect. Let's go. Alright, so into the final section, which is the miscellaneous uses of the past perfect. Let's begin with the first one, which is unreal events, all the events which you mention along with if and so on. You have the first example as, if I had met you, I would have told you. Coming to the second one, which reads, I had rather he would have asked me before borrowing my car. Coming to the second use, which is unrealized hopes and wishes or things that did not happen. We have a very simple sentence to begin with, which is, I had hoped to be a doctor, but since that did not come to pass, and hence we have the usage as, I had hoped. Coming to the final example, which is, he had intended to help, but was too shy to offer. And that wraps up the entire presentation. I hope you found this useful. If you have, please go ahead, like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you soon. Thank you so much for watching.